New reforms intended to limit FBI surveillance of political candidates are being met with skepticism by one of the central characters from Crossfire Hurricane and author of the new book, Abuse and Power. Former Trump campaign aide Carter Page joins us now. Good evening, Carter.
Good evening, Mike.
Here's a DOJ spokeswoman on changes to FISA. Take a listen.
On the FISA piece of things, if the FBI seeks a FISA warrant on an elected official, a member of a campaign, or a candidate, they will need to get permission from the Attorney General to do so.
How do you respond, Carter?
Mike, I've been through these two new documents which were just released, and unfortunately, you have to bear in mind that these are the same institutions, the DOJ and the FBI, which totally trampled the U.S. Constitution, totally trampled U.S. law, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. And so these relatively smaller directives, although important, the problem is you have so many rogue bureaucrats and also so many political operators in Washington who have just done everything possible to trample the law and trample civil rights of innocent Americans, that it's really still very concerning, particularly in light of the big cover-up that continues to this day.
From your new book, Abuse and Power, quote, I started to learn that the NSA and FBI had already wiretapped and hacked me for at least a year. Nearly 5 months had passed since I submitted my Privacy Act and FOIA request for the FISA warrants on May 21, 2017, but the powers that be still dragged their feet. What more do you think the public should know about that experience?
Mike, there is so much more that people need to know, and unfortunately, the cover-up has continued and continued, unfortunately. And when that was happening, it was during the Rosenstein-Sessions years at DOJ. And unfortunately, there has been no accountability whatsoever. Although Mr. Rosenstein and Sally Yates have been called in front of Congress, they have basically danced around the question, and there's been very little or no accountability whatsoever. One small charge has been levied by the Durham investigation, but there is just so much clear evidence of wrongdoing that there really needs to be much bigger steps to get to the bottom of this and to finally hold people accountable, and also just restoring our legal system and creating a more just society, because it really is completely unconscionable at this stage.
Let's look ahead. Former CIA Director John Brennan was interviewed by John Durham in late August. From Brennan's spokesman, Brennan was informed by Mr. Durham that he is not a subject or a target of a criminal investigation and that he is only a witness to events that are under review. The interview was conducted at CIA headquarters and lasted 8 hours. What do you make of that?
Well, I have to laugh at that, because the one person that has been charged, Mr. Kleinsmith, told my lawyers that I was just a witness as well. And unfortunately, little did we know, and we're still finding out the details about it, but they were getting ready to continue to do even more surveillance warrants against me, both in April and June of 2017. And unfortunately, the vast majority of people who were involved in this historic sham to overturn the presidency of Donald Trump have still not been held to account whatsoever.
Carter Page, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck with the book.
Thank you, Mike.